So I'd like to just refresh what we had done in the previous class. That is, we have solved the problem uh, by using the Freudenstein's equation. So wherein we have found out the precision angles over here, and based on these precision angles, we have drawn this sketch. Okay, so at every position of the input crank, we get the different position of the slider.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, are you showing something because the screen is not visible?
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the last problem which we have solved. I'm just refreshing it. So as I said, for every different position of the input link or the crank, we get the different positions of the slider. And if you observe that the distance of this slider, or whatever I've written SF or SI, that is measured with respect to the pivot point of the input link. Okay, so this is the pivot point of the input link. From here, I measure the slider distance. Okay, so if I'm taking for the first position, then I'm going to write it as S1. If I'm taking the distance from the second position slider, then I write S2 and so on. Okay, so this was the problem. Now let us solve another problem wherein most of the data regarding the Chebyshev is already given to you. You need not do that Chebyshev calculation, but there is a slight twist in the problem. So let us see how to tackle this. So let me write it here. Okay, so you can note on the problem. Design a slider crank mechanism for its three positions. That is, I need to insert, that is, theta 12 is given as 40 degrees, theta 13 is given as 80 degrees. This is of the input link. Okay. Apart from this, what else data is given? So they have also given you S12 as 1.8 centimeters, S13 as 4.8 centimeters. This is of the output link. What is output link? Output link is nothing but the slider over here. Okay, so I need to design the slider crank mechanism for this data. Okay, let me know once you are done noting down the problem.
So it's done.
Yeah. So let us just go through the given data of this problem. First of all, so I'll just highlight it here. What they have told is three positions. So obviously I'll come to know that it's a three position synthesis. Okay. And they have not given you the range of that theta value. Okay, if range was given, I can use the Chebyshev spacing, wherein I'll be knowing what is delta theta. And for three position means I'll be knowing that small n will be equal to 3. And I can find out what is theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3. But instead, what they have given you is theta 1, 2. Theta 1, 2 is nothing but the angle between the first position and the second position of the crank. Similarly, theta 1, 3, it stands for the angle between the first position and third position of the crank. It is 80 degrees. Okay, this is with respect to the input link. With respect to the output link, which is a slider, what they have given is the slider distance between the first position and second position is 1.8 centimeters. Similarly, the slider position or the distance of the slider between the first position and third position is 4.8 centimeters. So this is the only data that they have given. Based on this, we need to do the construction. So first, let me try to draw the rough sketch of this data and see how it fits. Then we'll analyze what changes we need to make. Okay. So as of now, see, this is not a graphical method. This is totally analytical method. So the sketch that I'm drawing, it need not be of the exact dimension. I'm just drawing the sketch for our visualization purpose. So first, let me draw the base. Okay. I'm going to draw one position of the input link. Okay, so this is our input link over here. So what I have drawn is the first position of the input link, where I've drawn at a random angle, at an arbitrary angle. So this initial angle, theta I, is not given to us. So I've assumed it. Theta I is an assumption. But now to draw the second position of the crank, where should I draw? So it is told to us that the angle between the first and second position over here is 40 degrees. So see, I'll just approximately, I'm just drawing the approximate links. Okay. So this is the position 2. Okay. And this angle between 1 and 2 is given to us as 40 degrees. I hope this is clear. Similarly, the third position, okay, this is the third position. And again, theta 1, 3, they have given it as 80 degrees. So from here to here, this angle is 80 degrees. I hope these steps were clear to you. Now let me draw the connecting rod and then the slider. So for first position, okay. So obviously, since the first position is towards the extreme left side, sorry, extreme right side, even the slider position will come towards the extreme right side. Okay. So the slider will come somewhere over here. Similarly, if I draw the connecting rod or connecting link for the second position, then its slider will come over here. And last one, I'll draw it for the third position, and its slider distance will come, or slider position will come over here. This is a rough sketch that I have got it. Let me know if you are having any doubts till this step. No doubts? Fine. Can anyone tell me what will be this distance?
S12.
So 1.8 centimeters.
Exactly. So this is the distance between the two sliders of position 1 and 2. So S12 is given to us as 1.8 centimeters. So this is 1.8 centimeters. Similarly, they have given us S13. So that means this distance is given to us. This is given to us as 4.8 centimeters. Is it clear? Now,
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question here. With this data, if you just observe in the previous problem also, we had known the angles of the crank, we knew the slider distance and everything. Can I go ahead and solve this problem by using the Freudenstein's equation? Okay, for your reference, I will just write down the Freudenstein's equation over here. It says that Z1 square should be equal to Z1 K1 cos of theta 2 plus K2 sine of theta 2 plus K3. This is the Freudenstein's equation. Can we use this equation? We know all the value of theta 2. What about Z1? Do we know the values of Z1?
No.
No, sir.
How do you define the distance Z1? Z1 is from which point to which point?
So from the pivot of the crank.
From the pivot of the crank up to the slider.
Slider.
Right? So this distance from the pivot of the crank to the slider is our Z value. So if I take this up to position 1, or see this initial position, so I can write this as SI. This is our initial position. Okay, why I have written SI? Because again, this slider is with respect to, of course, position 1, but it is at an angle of theta I. So position 1 is at an inclination of theta I. So the slider should have a distance of SI from the pivot point. Okay. Once you write this, we have to make some assumptions. That is, I need to assume this theta I what I have taken, and I also need to assume this SI which I have just now written. Okay, by looking at the diagram, it's quite obviously that SI must be more than 4.8 centimeters or more than 5 centimeters. So let us approximate it as, so you can take it as 6 centimeters. Okay, you can make it 7 also, no issues, but it should be more than 4.8. Okay, SI is definitely more than 4.8. And I'll also take this theta I, say maybe around 45 degrees to start with. Okay, so with this data, let us draw the diagram once again, and then we can solve using the Prudence equation. So once again, I will use the reference. So I'll draw the crank. So at an angle of 45 degrees. So I'm not using the exact angles here. So please note this is just a rough sketch. So I've drawn these three positions. And now I can clearly mention these angles. This is 45 degrees. What should be this degree now? I have to measure it in this fashion now, not between 1 and 2, because in Freudenstein's equation it is asking us only theta 2. Theta 2 is the angle made by the crank with respect to the horizontal line. So first position, of course, theta I have made it as 45. In the second one, it will be 45 plus 40, that will be 85. So this angle is 85 degrees. Okay. Similarly, I'll draw it from inner side. The last position, this angle should be how much? It should be 80 plus 45, that is 125, right? So I'll just write it down, whatever I've drawn over here. I've taken theta 1 or theta I as 45 degrees, theta 2 is 85 degrees, theta 3 is 125 degrees. Remember, all these things are theta 2 only because theta 2 is associated with crank, but because of the positions, I'm writing it as theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3. Similarly, I'll draw the connecting link. Okay. So we have the slider over here. Up till here, it is clear.
Yes, sir.
So what is the distance of Z1 now? Z1 is the distance between the pivot and the slider. So sorry. So the distance between this pivot and the slider of this position or here. What should be this distance now?
6 centimeter.
This is 6 centimeters. What about this? You know that between 2 and 1 it is 1.8 centimeters. Total is 6 centimeters. So the remaining dimension you can write it here. So it comes out to be around 4.2 centimeters, right? So this is 4.2 centimeters. And similarly, what should be this?
1.2 centimeter.
This is 1.2 centimeters. Okay. So now once you have drawn this, then we can make this table. Theta 2 and Z1. So when the theta 2 value is 45 degrees, that is I'm talking about position 1, then the Z1 is 6 centimeters. When theta 2 happens to be 85 degrees, the value of Z1 is 4.2 centimeters. Similarly, when theta 2 is 125 degrees, Z1 value will be 1.2 centimeters. So once you get this table clear, then I can use the Freudenstein's equation, which is Z1 square equal to Z1 K1 cos of theta 2 plus K2 sine of theta 2 plus K3. I'll just write down the first equation. Similarly, you can write down three equations. So the first equation will be, this is 6 square equal to 6 multiplied by K multiplied by cos of 45 plus K2 sine of 45 plus K3. Okay, this will be your first equation. Similarly, second and third you can get it by substituting the respective Z values. So for example, this will be 4.2 square equal to so on, and the third equation will be 1.2 square equal to the other part. So equation 2 you will get it, and equation 3 you will get it. If you solve these three equations, you are having three unknowns here, that is K1, K2 and K3 are the unknown values. So just solve them and let me know what is the value of K1.
So 8.
Okay, K1 is 8. K2,
43.83.
is it 43.8 or 42.8? Just check it.
43.
43.8.
43.8.
Okay.
And minus
And
28.96.
minus
28.96.
So with these values, you should be able to also find out the Z values. Ultimately, that is the objective. Z is nothing but our link length. So we have K1 equal to 2 times Z2. So from this, Z2 will be 4. Then we have K2 equal to 2 times Z2, Z4. So if we solve this, you know Z2, you know K2, you should be able to get Z4. How much you are getting Z4?
$5.47.
This will be Z3 square minus Z2 square minus Z4 square. So from this, you should be able to get Z3, which will be how much? Approximately 4. Yes, what is the value of Z3?
16.26.
Are you sure it is 16? Just check it once again.
4.12.
4.12. How much?
4.12. 4.12.
Okay. So these are your final answers. I hope all of you have got close answers close to this. In fact, since it is analytical, you must be getting actually exact answers. In graphical, there will be slight error, but in analytical, it should be perfect answers. Okay. So this was about Freudenstein's slider crank mechanism. So whatever is the problem, you have to bring it in this format. In this diagram, what I've drawn, you have to bring it in this format, wherein I'll come to know 3 values of theta 2 and 3 values of Z1. That is S1, S2, and S3. So this is our ultimate objective. Any problem should be brought into this format, and only then you can directly substitute this in Freudenstein's equation and get the values. I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll just post one question in your classroom now. It is regarding Freudenstein's only. Seems to be very challenging. Everything is very simple. Only thing is, when you look at this diagram which we have drawn now, I can say that as the crank is moving in counterclockwise direction, right? It is moving like 1, and position 2 is here, position 3 here. So the crank is moving in counterclockwise direction, due to which the slider will move from right to left. Agreed? as the crank is moving in counterclockwise direction, the slider moves from right to left. So I'll just post a problem where almost most of the data will be given to you, but the direction is reverse now. It says that when if the crank rotates in counterclockwise, then the slider has to move from left to right instead of right to left. So you can just try to solve this. If you're unable to solve that, then let me know in the next class. We'll solve it in the classroom. Okay. So if you don't have any doubts, then we can stop today's class. Yes, I guess there are no doubts. Then we'll wind up the class. Thank you.